According to results from a COVID-19 business tracker survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in 2020, about 770,000 workers, summing up to 25.7% of the total workforce, had their wages reduced and about 42,000 employees laid off during the country's COVID-19 partial lockdown. This means that many more people had their livelihood taken away from them. A year on, and we ask how have people in this bracket been coping. Meet 26-year-old Francisca Ohenewa. Before COVID, she was a Class 5 teacher at a basic school in Medina. However, in March 2020, life hit her hard.
And the headmistress and those who are in charge sent messages onto a WhatsApp platform on which all the staff are, and they called for a meeting that we should come to the school. Actually, I wasn't here. I had traveled for the weekend, and then the news came there. But after the meeting, they said it was basically about the COVID and how they were going to manage after the 2 weeks, because initially it was 2 weeks. So they talked about how they were going to manage after the 2 weeks, the pupils, hand washing and those other things. It was basically that. But after that, we didn't hear anything from the school again.
As unprepared as she was, fending for herself became a challenge for about 5 months.
There was a time I was called by my landlord to bring my electricity bill, and it was difficult. It's actually 40 cedis each month, but even the 40 cedis, it was difficult for me to cough it out. And then we had to pay a few things here and there, so I had to start borrowing from my friends. And at that time too, there was hardship. So you call these friends, me, I also need money. I can't, I have my own challenges. And then anticipated the lockdown. Everyone is trying to fend for himself or herself and their family. So even if you call to borrow, you don't get. And unfortunately for me, when I come out of my room, the route I have to take outside is right in front of my landlady's shop. So going out was even a problem for me. I'd have to stay indoors if it's. And I remember I had just rice in my container, so I'll cook the rice. In fact, I dreaded when my gas would get finished because I knew I didn't even have the money to refill. I'll just cook the rice and the stew. I'll make sure I manage it well, because if it gets finished, I don't know where I'll be getting it from.
She was emotionally also affected by the turn of events.
Anytime I go to bed and sleep at night, by 12:30 I'll be up and I'll be wondering what is in the next day for me. How is it going to be like? What am I going to eat? That was the very thing I was thinking of. What am I going to eat? What am I going to drink? When is the lockdown being lifted? When is school being reopened? When am I getting a chance to make money to survive again? It was traumatizing.
In all the ups and downs, her resilience stood tall. She has ventured into her own business of making liquid soap and bottles. She tells me her business hasn't been bad so far. She, however, needs market for her products.
And decided there are people on my contact list who don't even know that I make soap. So let me just talk to them and see. After a few calls, I had received orders for 12 gallons of liquid soap. For me, it was huge because I wasn't making such sales. It was huge. And then along the line, I attended a filmmaking training. So every training I hear of, or every workshop, I needed a skill. I needed to survive. So whatever I'll do, if I hear of any training which is free and I could make something of it, I'll go. So that was it. So I heard of a filmmaking training. I joined. And when I joined, I sent the liquid soap there. I made sure my colleagues, the trainers and the trainees, they bought something before I left the place. So
this is the story of 26-year-old Ohenewa, and for her, with the little experience she has had teaching in a private school, she believes that government needs to support private schools, especially as schools have reopened, and also her business is very important to her, so she's calling on Ghanaians to support her, give her market for this business she has started. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Eduama Ansa.